And welcome back. Well, a lot of people are working from home these days. So what if you're hurt while you're working there? Can you still file a workers' comp claim? Well, here with the answer is Alex Eichhorn with Tabak Law. Good to see you, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Tiffany. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So good to see you. This is a fascinating question, and I want to get to it in a second. But first, I just want to know a little bit about what it means to have a risk-free injury consultation. What does that mean?
Yeah, so what that means is we have several attorneys who are handling workers' compensation at Tabak Law, as well as several very skilled paralegals. So if you're injured at work, even if it's something small, say you cut your finger bad, you're going to be missing several days of work. Give us a call. We know the system. We can advise you how to get a claim filed. We can advise you what medical processes you should go through to ensure that you get the correct treatment and what benefits you're entitled to. One that oftentimes is missed is when someone's injured at work, the transportation cost to and from their doctor's visits is to be paid at 51 cents per mile. And I'm seeing more and more frequently that even in conceded claims where an attorney is not necessary, this benefit's not being paid. So give us a call. It's risk-free. You're going to speak with an attorney or a very skilled paralegal, and we're going to give you the answers that you need even before any denial or dispute.
Well, and one thing I love about you, and I know that this is something people often don't know, is that it doesn't cost anything up front, right? I mean, there's no fee unless you win the case. They're not just paying you to look into it.
That's exactly right. So we'll take on the claim. We use a contingency fee structure. So the only time my office is getting paid is if we win your claim, and that is directly from the workers' compensation insurance company. At no time is an injured worker ever cutting my firm a check directly from their bank account. If we don't win the claim, the cost that we spent to get your medical bills and records and narrative statements is ate by us. I never will send you a bill asking for recuperation of those bills ever.
That's fantastic. So I think a lot of people are going to be confused because working from home, they're going to say, well, it was my home, isn't it my fault? So kind of break down, I guess, what sorts of things could be filed as an injury from working from home as a workman's comp issue.
First off, I think anytime that you're working and you're working from home, you're classified as a traveling worker. And that classification is exceedingly broad. Say you're a worker here in the state of Wisconsin, you travel for a conference to California, and while in California, you slip on some oil at a restaurant that you're out to eat at. That would be considered a compensable claim. Similarly, you get that same very broad protection as a at-home worker. Let's say you get up, you go to your kitchen to grab a glass of water in between a meeting, and you slip on that water. That is certainly a compensable claim, and I see it more and more frequently now where people are not confident and not sure that this is a compensable claim. My advice in that situation is you're not as familiar with the law as maybe the workers' compensation adjuster or company, and the first thing that you should always do if you're injured and you believe that there's any relationship to any work activity is file the claim. The worst they can do is deny it, and that's when we get involved. You give me a call, and I'll say, yes, absolutely. That's a compensable claim. You're classified as a traveling worker, and you were within your work hours working for the benefit of your employer.
That is amazing. I think that's going to shock so many people, Alex, because they're going to be like, wait. I mean, if you were cooking lunch, are you covered in that scenario, or is that sort of off the table?
No, I think that it's not such a deviation from your employment activities that it could certainly be compensable. And again, whether or not I believe it's compensable or the work comp company believes it's compensable may be two separate things. They may deny the claim. But again, I think the law is certainly in our favor. If you're cooking lunch and you would generally cook lunch at work or you would generally eat lunch at work, it's not such a drastic deviation from your employment activities that it would take you outside of the scope of what would be considered normal and therefore compensable.
That's incredible. And compensable, I just want to make sure it means compensated for, right? Like being paid. You could be paid for this injury.
Absolutely. And the benefits that you could get. So let's say, again, using your example, you're cooking lunch and you slip and fall, you injure your back, and you need to be out of work for a few weeks. The benefits you would be entitled to are lost wages while you're off of work, your medical bills, transportation costs of 51 cents per mile, in addition to any reasonable and necessary medical expense you incur. No copay, no deductible. So work comp is to pay for that entirely. Additionally, if the injury is worse maybe than you being off of work for a few weeks, there may be an additional component of permanent partial disability. So you're injured, certainly give us a call. First thing, they'll file that claim, because that's what my office is going to say. When you get on the phone with myself, I'm going to say, did you file a claim? I can't represent you on a work comp claim that doesn't exist.
Okay, so first steps first. But can they call you and just say, is this something I should file for? We're out of time, but I want to make sure that I give people first steps.
Absolutely. Give my office a call. We can talk about it. And if indeed it is in the realm of compensability, we will advise you to file the claim. We will give you the contact information for the insurance adjuster that you should reach out to and guide you through the process.
Fantastic, and risk-free and no costs up front. Thanks so much for joining us, Alex. Good to see you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Absolutely. Tabak Law offers those risk-free consultations. You can call them for more information. It's 414-351-4400 or visit tabakattorneys.com.